NFL fans, welcome back to the J All Day Sports Show. We are 6 days away until opening day. Woo! Kansas City Chiefs at home versus the Baltimore Ravens. That game is going to be really exciting. In today's episode, I'm going to break down every single one of Week 1's NFL games and give you my score predictions for all of the games. We're going to start with the Ravens-Chiefs. We're going to end with the Jets at San Francisco. Let's get into it. NFL fans, we are 6 days away until kickoff. The Ravens at the Kansas City Chiefs. Can the Chiefs be the first team in NFL history to win 3 Super Bowls in a row? We'll have to see how things start off for them against the Baltimore Ravens, who have a really good team. They're coached really well. I do have a little bit of concerns about the offensive line, and we'll have to see if King Henry is still that dude. They don't have a lot of depth at the wide receiver position of guys not named Zay Flowers. On the flip side, the Kansas City Chiefs are dealing with some injuries on the offensive line. Wanya Morris, Jawan Taylor, both questionable for the game. It looks like their rookie is going to be starting at left tackle, but I do think the Kansas City Chiefs have enough juice to get this victory. I'm going 27-20 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes and company starts out well. I like Xavier Worthy, that deep threat there. I like Rashee Rice. Travis Kelce is still the man in my opinion, and Pacheco is one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. The Chiefs take it. All right, let's move on to the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Both the Packers and the Eagles drafted extremely well. The Packers brought in Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker, who I absolutely love. The safety, Javon Bullard. They bring in free agent safety Xavier McKinney from the Giants. That's a huge addition to that defense. They're okay at the cornerback position. And the Philadelphia Eagles, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, great additions on the rookie side. They brought in Huff from the Jets to rush the passer. The offensive line is missing Jason Kelce. There might be some growing pains early in the year for sure. They're also missing Fletcher Cox on the D-line. So that Eagles defense was not very good the second half of the year. Actually, they were quite terrible. They were trash. I mean, I've been going back and forth on this game all week. But I really think Saquon Barkley is going to have a really big game. The Packers were not the best at stopping the run last year, and he's such a dual threat at the running back position. He can run inside. He can run outside. He's one of the best catchers of the football coming out of the backfield in the NFL. Probably only second or third to guys like Breece Hall and Christian McCaffrey. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles pull this one off 24-21. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. Who wants it more? I think the Eagles win this game in Brazil. Next, we're going on to the Patriots at the Bengals. The more tape I watch on the Patriots, the more terrible they look. The defense is just okay. I think Judon not being there is going to be a big loss. Even though he was hurt a little bit last year, I think they're going to miss him in the locker room. The Bengals, if they can get the Jamar Chase deal done and he suits up, the Bengals are going to win this game, in my opinion. I think the Bengals are, 27-10, 27-13 type of game. I think they win this game, especially if Jamar Chase plays. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they have enough on offense to get this done. I just don't see the Patriots scoring a lot of points, guys. Their defense is pretty good. But I think there's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs on offense, and as the game goes on, especially on the road, this Patriots defense is going to wear out. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and company are going to take over in the second half. I like the Bengals to win this game. All right, let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals at the Buffalo Bills. I originally thought the Arizona Cardinals had the potential to upset the Buffalo Bills, but the more I look at this defense, they lost one of their best pass rushers on defense, guys. If you check it out, B.J. Ojulari, a standout last season, suffered a season-ending ACL injury. First-round pick Darius Robinson is expected to miss some time. So, they just don't have a lot of juice on that pass rush. And if you give Josh Allen time, he's going to pick you apart. With Keon Coleman, the first-round pick, Khalil Shakir, both those tight ends are really good. Buffalo wins this game 27-21, in my opinion. I like the Buffalo Bills to get it done. The Arizona Cardinals offense is going to be better. Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner. I think this game is close, But ultimately, I just don't think they're going to score enough points to beat the Buffalo Bills. All right, now we're going to move on to the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. This is one of my favorite games in Week 1. But man, CJ Stroud looked automatic in the preseason. He didn't miss a beat at all whatsoever. He added 2 huge weapons in Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is a great running back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a 3-down back, man. I love Joe Mixon. I love that addition. And they have Tank Dell and Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, the tight end. This team is as complete as an offense gets in the NFL. I think they win 30-17. I like the Colts. I think they're going to be fine this year. I like the addition of Latu and Adonai Mitchell at the wide receiver position. But I just don't know if that defense is going to be able to stop CJ Stroud consistently. And CJ Stroud was so good on third down. If you think he was good last year, he's going to be even better in year 2. I just think it's going to be tough sledding for Shane Steichen, the head coach of the Colts, to get this team to win this game. I like the Texans. I told you guys to bet that line when it was minus 1.5, It moved up to minus 2.5, so I like the Texans in this spot. All right, let's move on to the Jaguars at the Dolphins, guys. I've been going back and forth on this game all week long. Oh, man, this is going to be a fun game to watch. A really, really fun game. The Jaguars are healthy. The offense looks pretty good, man. Evan Ingram at tight end, Brian Thomas Jr. They brought in Gabe Davis to replace Calvin Ridley. I like the offensive line. I don't love it. But on defense, man, the D-line with Allen, Hamilton, Armstead coming over from San Francisco, and Walker, they got a great D-line. And the Miami Dolphins offensive line is just okay. They lost Hunt to Carolina, who is a really good player. I think Tyreek Hill's dealing with a hand injury. Waddle's questionable. They don't have a ton of depth at the wide receiver position at all, guys. Odell Beckham's going to miss the first 4 games. He's on the PUP list. Like, look at all these guys on IR. And someone in my comments was like, they don't have a lot of injuries. Like, what do you mean? Look at all these guys on IR. They have 4 wide receivers on IR. The offensive line is just okay, in my opinion. I think the Jaguars can wreak havoc there. But Waddle and Tyreek Hill are both going to play. The running backs, Mostert and A-Chain, are some of the best, probably the best running back duo in the entire NFL, guys. They are unbelievably talented. It's just a tough ask on the road to beat the Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins have enough juice to get it done in a close game. I'm going 27-24 Miami Dolphins. Let's move on to another game that I'm really excited to break down for you guys and watch is the Tennessee Titans on the road traveling to the Chicago Bears. I'm going with the Bears, 23-14. Here's why. The Titans brought in L'Jarius Sneed, which I really like. They brought in Awuzie to play the other cornerback position, but they got a lot of moving parts on defense. It's going to take a little bit. I think the Titans are going to struggle the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season, and then we're going to see towards the middle of the year a switch is going to be turned on, and the Titans are really going to start to sing. DeAndre Hopkins is questionable. He's probably going to play, though. But I like the additions to Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd. They're upgraded there. The offensive line added some additions in the draft as well. But it's going to take some time to get that offensive line right. And last year, the Titans only won 1 game on the road all year long. They're not very good on the road. I don't expect too much to change this year. I like the Chicago Bears, and I think a lot of people are assuming that they're going to just release Caleb Williams to throw the ball 40 times this game. I think they're going to run the ball with DeAndre Swift a lot more than people think. And then on second and long and third down, they're going to go to Keenan Allen and DJ Moore a lot. He's got a lot of weapons. Rome Odunze's there as well. I like the Chicago Bears to win this game, guys. I'm going 23-14. Another game that I really like that should be competitive, Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants. The Giants added Brian Burns from the Panthers. That's really going to solidify that defensive line. Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns are going to wreak havoc, and they could destroy some games this year. But they don't have a lot of depth at the running back position. I like Devin Singletary, but I don't love him. And at the wide receiver position, they're even worse. They have Malik Neighbors and a bunch of bums. The cornerbacks are not very good, in my opinion. They let Xavier McKinney walk to the Packers. If that D-line doesn't get 4 sacks, 5 sacks in this game, they're going to lose. I think Sam Darnold has the tools to use Addison and Justin Jefferson to get the win. They also brought in Aaron Jones from the Packers. TJ Hawkinson, the tight end, is going to miss the first 4 weeks of the year. But I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. I think they win this game. I'm going to go 20-14. All right, now let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Atlanta Falcons, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers are dealing with some injuries on the offensive line. Isaac Seumalo left practice, I don't know if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, with a pec injury. So that's huge for an offensive lineman. Everything's about keeping your hands inside and pushing people around. And if your pec's messed up, he's probably going to miss some time. Rookie Troy Fautano, who they thought was going to start, he's questionable as well. Some more tackle depth. Dylan Cook is on IR. Nate Herbig, the center, on IR. That leaves a rookie, Zach Frazier, starting for them on the offensive line. That is not good in my opinion, right? So that's why I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons to win this game. I'm going a low-scoring game, 17-13. For Atlanta to get the win at home. I think they're going to ease in Kirk Cousins with this offense, kind of try to control the clock a little bit. And I expect a lot of 3-and-outs for this Pittsburgh Steelers offense with this shaky offensive line. Russell Wilson is definitely not in his prime anymore. And they only have one huge threat on offense at the receiver position, in my opinion, in George Pickens, right? So I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons 17-13. All right, let's move on to another game. The Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. I originally thought the Carolina Panthers had a chance to win this game, but the more tape I watch, I don't believe in this defense at all whatsoever. Like, I really just don't. Losing Brian Burns is huge. They have a couple good players on the D-line and the linebacker room, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to win this game on the road. The Saints, I think, are going to do just enough. I think they're going to dump the ball off to Alvin Kamara a lot in the flat. Get the balls to Olave. Derek Carr is just okay. He's not great, but I think he's good enough to lead his team to victory in Week 1. I'm going 23-13 over the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young has a lot to prove this year, guys. He was terrible last year, but he was on a terrible team. So we'll find out more this year because they added some guys like Hunt from Miami to help out the offensive line. They made, I think there's 3 new starters on the O-line there. So we'll really see if Bryce Young can use the weapons like Xavier Legette, who they got in the draft. They brought in Deontay Johnson from the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they're giving him what he needs to succeed. Are they a great team? No, they're not. But he should be able to be a little more fundamentally sound and not end up on his butt as much this year as he did last year. But I think the Saints win this game. It's going to be tough for Carolina to go into New Orleans. It's always tough to play in that dome on the road. I'm going with the Saints. All right, Denver Broncos at the Seahawks. I like Bo Nix. I'm a big Bo Nix fan. Courtland Sutton is a really good wide receiver there. But, man, it's a tough ask for a rookie quarterback to go on the road to Seattle. Seattle is one of the toughest venues to play in the NFL on the road. Seattle's got a great offense, weapons-wise. Skill position players, they're second to none in the NFL. Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf. It's going to be covered by Pat Surtain. So look for Tyler Lockett to have a big game and Kenneth Walker III. I think he has a monster game. If you're a fantasy guy, daily fantasy, Kenneth Walker against the Broncos defense. They're not great against the run. I think Kenneth Walker goes for 20-plus carries, over 110 yards, maybe a touchdown, possibly even 2. I love him in this spot. I look for the Seahawks to dominate. But the only thing that concerns me about this Seahawks team is that offensive line is still cheeks. So we'll have to see if they can block for Geno Smith. I think they're going to try to get the ball out quick, a lot of slants, some 8 to 10 yard digs, stuff like that. I like the Seahawks to win this game at home 21-10. Let's move on to the Raiders versus the Chargers. One of my favorite, I can't wait to watch this game. I'm really excited about this Raiders team. I really am. I love Brock Bowers. He was one of my favorite players when I was scouting people for the draft this year. His tape really jumped out to me. I hope he's healthy enough to contribute to this offense. Gardner Minshew was a Pro Bowler. That had a lot to do with Shane Steichen because he's like a quarterback whisperer over in Indianapolis. But I think he's going to take what he learned from Shane Steichen, use that with his time with the Raiders. He's got Devontae Adams, a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Brock Bowers is going to be an amazing weapon for him this year. And that defense, adding Christian Wilkins to be paired with Max Crosby, they're going to wreak havoc on offenses this year. And the Chargers just don't have a lot of weapons, man. The running back room is a bunch of cast-offs from the Ravens. They don't have receivers at all that are good. They just don't. I love Justin Herbert, but you can only do so much with what you got, man. So I like the Raiders to win this game on the road, 20-16. I think it goes under the 42 points as well. That's an interesting bet to me because I know Harbaugh's going to want to run the ball a lot. All right, now we're going to move on to the Dallas Cowboys on the road versus the Cleveland Browns. They got the CeeDee Lamb deal done, which is great. Everyone knew it was going to get done, and Jerry Jones is just insufferable. Like, just get the deal done. He wasted his whole preseason to get ready for week 1. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is a guy that doesn't really need a practice to come out and perform, but is he going to be in game shape? We'll have to see, right? Dallas Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns. And we also know the Dallas Cowboys are not the same team on the road, guys. They're just not. They are significantly better at home in Jerry's world, but you're going to be playing in the elements in Cleveland. It's going to be humid. It's going to be a little muggy. Cowboys guys are going to get tired, man. That humidity is real. In Ohio and Pennsylvania and Jersey and New York, the humidity is 100% going to play a factor in this game. The Browns have been practicing in it for months now. I look for them to perform. I think Denzel Ward is going to keep CeeDee Lamb in check, and then the pass rush led by Myles Garrett is going to get after this Dallas Cowboys offensive line. It's probably going to be starting 2 rookies, a little banged up as well. I like the Cleveland Browns to win a really close game, 24-23. We move on to the Commanders at Tampa Bay. There's some juice coming in on the Commanders. I don't know why. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a big playoff win versus the Eagles last year. And we all know what Todd Bowles does to running quarterbacks and rookie quarterbacks. He's coming, baby. He is coming. He's bringing the noise. He's going to be blitzing his tail off all game long. Jaden Daniels is going to be running for his life the majority of this game. But Jaden Daniels has got some legs, and he can throw the deep ball. So they got to stop the deep ball. Todd Bowles has got to be in, cover 4, kind of keep that part of the field, the deep half of the field covered up, and make Jaden Daniels beat you with throws in front of you. Make him throw accurate balls, which in college he wasn't great at, under 15 yards. I'd be playing off the line of scrimmage. I wouldn't be playing bump and run on the outside. I would be given 7 yards, 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, and make Jaden Daniels and these wide receivers beat you. That's what I would do. Todd Bowles is going to bring the noise. I think Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin are going to be too much for the Commanders. I like Dan Quinn. Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know. He goes places and he kind of makes things worse. But I like his work ethic. I think he's a cerebral guy, but sometimes I think he outsmarts himself a little bit. I'm going Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game 27-13. And then we got the primetime game on Sunday night, the Rams at the Lions. I don't know, is Cooper Kupp cooked? I was watching some of him in the preseason, and I don't know, I didn't see that extra level that I saw in previous years. We'll see if that observation comes to be right as the season plays out. Puka Nakua's banged up. Matt Stafford's dealing with a hamstring injury. The Detroit Lions made some additions to the secondary, drafting Terry and Arnold, who's going to start on the outside. I like their safeties there as well. They're going to be an improved team. They added Zeitler from the Ravens. I think he's going to play right guard for them. So the offensive line that was really good last year somehow got better. Amon-Ra St. Brown. The running back situation there with Montgomery and Gibbs is second to none. I love them. I'm going with the Detroit Lions 34-24 to win this game by 10 points. I think they cover the spread. I think they cover it this time. And then the last game of the week, we got the New York Jets versus the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers got the Ayuk deal done. So what does that mean for Trent Williams? Can they pay Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk and all these guys? They're going to run out of money soon. They can't pay McCaffrey and Kittle and Ayuk and Debo and oh my gosh, it's just the list continues. I don't know what happens. If Trent Williams doesn't play, I'm definitely going with the Jets. But I just think the Jets win this game. I think the defensive line is going to be great. I love the secondary there. Sauce Gardner is going to D up probably Debo in this game, so they're just going to have to stop Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey, who's also a little bit banged up. I think the Jets pull off the upset. I think they blitz the crap out of Purdy. That's what you got to do to beat Purdy. If you drop in the coverage, Purdy's going to burn you every time. The Jets got to blitz. They got to blitz a lot, get Purdy off his spot, punch him in the mouth a little bit, and that's how the Jets win this game. I'm going the Jets. Get the road victory, 24-20, guys. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning into all these videos. It's quite humbling. We've added almost 2,000 subscribers in August alone. The channel is exploding. We're closing in on 7,000 subscribers, and that's all because of you guys. I appreciate it so much. I also opened up memberships with a bunch of different perks, so if you're interested in that, I opened up a private email perk where you guys can get my private email and ask me 5 questions every single week about daily fantasy, about bets, about predictions, about survivor pools. Any questions that you guys got, I'm here for you to answer those questions. Check out the membership and all the perks, and if you're interested, I would love to have you as a member of this channel. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it again. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace!